Okay, who's ready for round two of synthetic division? But this time, it's when our divisor leading coefficient is not 1. So what I'm talking about, if you look at the divisor, the number in front of the variable, if you notice, is not 1. If you look back to our previous examples, the number in front of my variable in the divisor was 1, because remember, if something's not there, there secretly is a 1. And same with this one. When the number in front of my divisor variable, the x, was also a 1. So, we have to talk about what happens when that bad boy is not a 1. So, when you do synthetic division, this number right here, the number in front of the variable in your divisor, should always be a 1. So if it's not 1, what we're going to do, one way to make a 2 become a 1 is dividing it by 2. So what we're going to do to this problem, whether or not it wants it, I'm going to divide this by 2 because 2 divided by 2 is 1, but I cannot just divide one thing by the 2. I got to divide everything in the divisor and in the dividend by 2. Everything I got to divide by 2. Okay, so I'm going to reduce this down. So let's see what we get after we reduce this down. Okay, so now let's see what happens. 2 divided by 2 cancels out and turns to 1, so this is 1b to the third. Negative 6 divided by 2 is negative 3, so it'll be negative 3b squared. And 8 divided by 2 is a 4, and a positive 4, so it'll be positive 4b. Alright guys, 2 divided by 2 is 1. Holy hot dog, which we want that to be a 1. We always want that to be a 1. Plus, 2 divided by 2 is 1. Now, I don't care about the rest of these numbers, but this one right here better always be a 1. Or you cannot use synthetic division. You'll be forced to use long division. Okay, so after we simplify it, you guys, we never look at this original division problem ever again. I'm just going to even cross this out because it does not matter anymore. I am never going to use this again. So don't look at it anymore. Okay? So now, this is like my new problem. So now, I'm just going to do synthetic like I've always done. Okay? So, when we do synthetic, we put our boxy. We put our plus sign and the line. Okay? Next up, I'm going to put the opposite of this number in my boxy. So since that's plus 1, in the boxy goes negative 1. Okay, across the top, I start with my highest exponent and go down by 1 each time. So I have a b to the third, a b squared, a b to the first, and a b to the 0, which remember that is the one without, that's my without, w slash o, without the variable. That's what that means. Without the variable. Okay, so I'm going to be writing my coefficients down. So, the coefficient of b to the third is 1. So I'm going to write a 1 here. Okay, the coefficient of b to the second is negative 3. My coefficient of b to the first is a 4. And I don't have a number without a variable. So guess what, you guys? We have to put in a 0 placeholder. Okay? Alright, guys, let the synthetic division begin. So I drop my first one down. Then I multiply this number to the boxy. Alright, 1 times negative 1 is negative 1. So I'm going to slide it above the line in the second slot over. I'm going to add down negative 3 minus 1 more is negative 4. Okay, I'm going to multiply this to the boxy. Negative 4 times negative 1 is positive 4. I'm going to slide it on over and add down. 4 plus 4 gives me an 8. Guess what, you guys? I'm going to multiply this to the boxy. So 8 times negative 1 is negative 8. So I'm going to slide that bad boy over, and 0 minus 8 is negative 8. And don't forget, you guys, this last number is always the remainder. Alright, let's write our final answer. So I'm going to rewrite these down here. So I have a 1, a negative 4, an 8, and a negative 8, which since I know this is my remainder, I'm going to put a division, because I already know I'm going to be dividing by the divisor, since we are synthetic pros at this point. Okay, so remember down here, we start with one exponent less than our highest exponent because when we divide, we get smaller. So my highest exponent is b to the third. So down here, I'm going to start with b squared. Already got my symbol in, so I don't need to write anything. B to the second, b to the first, positive, so I'm going to put plus. And this is my b to the 0 term, which I don't write that, just leave it alone. And then plus my remainder over the divisor, which I'm going to look at my new divisor. I never look back here. I do not use the old divisor. I use my new divisor. So I'm going to use b plus 1. And that, you guys, would be our final answer. Holy hot dog, right? Wasn't that bad. So all you got to do, if that number in front of the variable of your divisor is not a 1, divide everything by that number to force it to be a 1. Awesome job, you guys.